to the Falmouth Music Workshop from Studio 310. I'm Pat Ryan. This is Laird Boles. We are old friends. Well, not real old friends, but we're old. we're as young as we'll ever be.
Friends for a long time.
Friends for a long time. In fact, 25 years.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. I first met Laird about 25 years ago. Falmouth's changed a lot since then. We've changed a lot since then. And some changes have been real positive, like this wonderful studio here at the Falmouth Community Television. So we're happy to be playing here, and we're going to be doing, I think, about a monthly show featuring some wonderful local and regional talent, and not just playing music for people, but talking about music and talking about what it means to be a musician and the challenges and that we face and the inspiration that we take and what we love about it. And so I'm so happy to be here with Laird because he's one of my closest friends, one of the first musicians that I ever played with here on the Cape. And we met back in the days when there was what was the name of that music store? Professional Music.
Professional Music at Deer Crossing.
That's right, up in Mashpee,
yeah.
With some Falmouth people.
Jeff Joyner store, yeah.
And my daughter, my first born daughter, PIPA, had just been born. And I met Laird not long after that. And then we started to do a weekly jazz jam session on Sundays at the Courtyard Restaurant up in Katomet with some wonderful musicians. And one of the songs that we did was a song that I wrote shortly after the birth of my first daughter. Her name is Pippa. She's now 25. And the song's evolved a little over time, but it just kind of came to me shortly after an arduous birth and labor and entrance into the world, and she's here and intact and wonderful. And this is something that came after 60 hours or so under the Billy Rubin lights at Falmouth Hospital.
Ooh,
Sitting by the frog pond, sat down and started to play this little song. We call it PIPA Song. Yeah, that was fun.
Brings back memories. Because when I first met Pippa, she was just about yay big, and you're holding her in your right arm. I remember that down to professional music.
Yeah.
That's when I first met her. And look at her now.
Look at her now. Look
She
at her
must
now.
have been a beautiful baby, right? Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
baby, look at you now. Remember that song? Great song.
Anyway, so that's a tune called PIPA Song, and kind of wrote itself. And now we're going to do, what did I say? We're going to do a samba. I love Brazilian jazz especially, and this is kind of a nylon string. It is a nylon string, Spanish-style guitar, and used a lot in the bossa nova and samba music of Brazil. And this is a tune called Samba de Orfeo that we'd like to try for you. we're always improvising. I think I forgot. I only did one verse and going into the chorus, but he listened so well.
He gave me that panic look. For 25 years ago, so we were just cutting our teeth on this stuff, on jazz.
It's true.
I came from a bluegrass background, and Pat and I worked on the repertoire together, and here we are today, and
yeah,
leaps and bounds. So
leaps and bounds.
We're getting more comfortable, but it's it's never a completed process.
It's always unfolding.
Learning constantly.
So we're going to play one more tune and then have a very special guest up. This is a song that means a lot to me because I got to play it with the great Rebecca Paris, who is one of the really wonderful, one of my musical heroes, one of the great singers from our whole region and from anywhere really. And she really did a killer version of this tune. And but it's called "There Will Never Be Another You." It's a jazz standard, and we'll give that a try here.
Usual key, original key.
Yeah.
Okay.
cutaway. I need a cutaway here to reach those high notes.
Got a little chainsaw in the car, we could use that.
Yeah, chainsaw.
Yeah, that's bad.
Well, we'd like to invite a wonderful singer and songwriter from Falmouth to come up and do a couple tunes with us. The great Dawna Hammers.
Yeah, Dawna.
Hi guys. You guys sound great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dim light helps me a lot.
It's good to hear you.
Yeah.
Babson's dancing back there.
So I think we're going to do another Mojo Beam tune, right?
Yeah, you want to go into that one? Sure.
Sure.
Love to. Yeah, and I just also want to mention my daddy was a musician all around Cape Cod. So music is passed on, you know? Yeah. Were any of your fathers musicians?
He was?
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe my father played with your father.
It probably did
It
somewhere.
probably did.
So, yeah.
Probably.
I got two fathers.
Ah.
A biological father, who's not a musician, because I was adopted when I was 6 months old. I've known him for 5 years. And my father, who raised me since I was 6 months old, and he did. He played trumpet and active in the. My mom and dad both played a lot in the church. Grew up with the Methodist hymnal
Yeah.
percolating in my
Yeah,
consciousness.
sure.
Wonderful. Nice.
Anyway.
Wesley there.
This is for our dads.
Yeah.
So close your eyes, for what a lovely way to be. Aware of things your heart alone was meant to see. The fundamental loneliness goes whenever two can dream a dream together. You can't deny, don't try to fight the rising sea. Don't fight the moon, the stars above, and don't fight me. The thought of that loneliness goes whenever two can dream a dream together. When I saw you first, the time was 3:30. When your lips met mine, it was eternity. But now I know the wave is on its way to be. Just catch the wave, don't be afraid of don't leave me. The fundamental loneliness goes whenever two can dream a dream together. So close your eyes, for what a lovely way to be. Aware of things your heart alone was meant to see. The thought of that loneliness goes whenever two can dream a dream together. Two can dream a dream. so close your eyes. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Love that song.
I'm teaching guitar at Barnstable High School now, and there's I've got about 100 students, and I got about 15% of them are from Brazil.
Wow.
So it's really kind of
must
fun.
love
And,
you.
and of those kids, several aren't real strong at speaking English, so it's really fun to get their input and to share some of that music. Although a lot of them aren't super familiar with Mojo Beam, and I said, wow, every working musician I know in America that I've ever played with knows a lot of Brazilian music, loves it, knows Mojo Beam and everything. So.
That's great. Yeah, I'm singing every Sunday in a Brazilian grill in Martha's Vineyard, and a lot of the young staff, you know, they've heard the songs a little bit, but they're still like, oh, we like those old songs, they say.
Yeah.
Sort of the classical music of Brazil at this point, isn't it, Mojo Beam?
And my dad was always humming them around the house. That's because he played the saxophone. He didn't have to learn the words. He just learned the melody. So I grew up just listening to him humming these tunes. Thank you, Dad.
Anyway, we're going to do one more tune, and it's God Bless the Child, right?
Yeah.
Which is a nice...
Another one my dad taught me. He loved Billie Holiday. All of his musician friends followed Billie Holiday all around. I have an autographed picture.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. So this is what we do on a gig, you know, we'll figure out a tune and says like, okay, what key do you do it in? B flat. Okay, we do it B flat. Okay. But it's fun. It's fun. To me, it makes it kind of alive instead of just, you know, reading something or trying to recreate something exactly like it's been done. That's why I'm drawn to jazz. I don't even like to call it jazz anymore, though, because for a lot of people that conjures up a certain thing that might be different for you or you or you or you. You know, when I say jazz, you know, oh, that's elevator music, or that's that crazy swing stuff, or that's that bebop, or that's, you know, whatever it is. That's Ella Fitzgerald. You know, what is jazz? You know, and to me, what it is just when there's that element of the living nature of it and the listening in the moment and taking a tune, taking the scaffolding of the tune and the harmony and the melody and the structure, but then sort of trying to create something new with it in the moment. You know, you might play it differently every time. And I think that's one of the main reasons people keep musicians keep coming back to jazz. That and the fact that you get incredibly rich playing jazz music.
Yeah. When you think about it, I mean, Bach, Mozart, they were really, if they had been alive during the jazz era, they would have fit right in.
They were improvisers. They were keyboard virtuosos.
They just wrote
Classical.
out their improvisations instead of doing it on the spot, but they had all the wonderful ideas of taking the melody and expanding on it, expounding on it. And it's pretty dramatic. We had, you know, Duke Ellington, I believe, said that all music is folk music, no matter what style it is. Everything comes originally from some folk melodies, folk ideas. So it has very sort of simple, primitive roots, if you will, and then it gets it's evolved into various things which reflect a blend of influences over time. And what's really interesting is no matter where you travel in the world now, you find, not that I've done a lot of traveling recently, but I did have the opportunity when I was in college in Virginia to go visit. I was singing in a chorus, and we traveled to Prague, Czechoslovakia, a beautiful city that was not damaged during the war. And back at that time, under communism, it was very quiet. Everybody's very reserved. Nobody talked much until you got down below street level into the taverns. And you just heard this wonderful blend of music which combined violins and
Are you telling me
clarinets.
you went down in the taverns in
I did,
Prague?
just to observe, you know. I was underage. No, at that point, no, I think I was.
Laird went
And
down in the
everything
taverns.
Came alive, and so I heard this wonderful music, which clearly sounded like Czechoslovakian music or whatever. It had the violins, clarinets. It was called a hammer dulcimer. We know it, or a cymbal, as they referred to it, and a string bass usually. And I was getting interested in that at the time. But I then went again 23 years later with my dad, who was going to a medical conference in Vienna. And the music now blended all of that, plus reflected popular music from the West, jazz, everything else. And ultimately, jazz has that way of being a universal language for musicians of all different ages at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the current issue of Downbeat. What is that? What is that? We hear people talking. I don't know. No, I don't. Anyway, maybe it's voices in my head. Voices in my head, and it's on television now. So, no, but the current issue of Downbeat magazine has it's a 50-year anniversary of ECM Records, which is amongst most people that I know, jazz musicians, pretty famous record label. Manfred Eicher is the head of it, German label. But what they did on that label was sort of feature artists, musicians who had the jazz sensibility, but also sort of world music and sort of European classical music all blended. And they had some real interesting musicians came out of that label. Now 50 years old, that label. But with some of the real great pivotal artists, people like Keith Jarrett and Charlie Hayden and Egberto Gismonti and Pat Metheny and a lot of the great, Charlie Hayden I already said I think, but a lot of the great music came off that label. Anyway.
It unites us all.
This has been fun.
Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Mama may have, and Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Oh, the strong get more, while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make the grade. Mama may have, and your papa, he may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Relations give crust and bread and such. You can't help yourself, but don't you take too much. Mama may have, and your papa, he may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. got his own. That's got her own. That's got their own. That's got his own. Yeah.
My brain kept thinking we were in E flat and we're in B flat. But my brain,
Yeah, I like playing
not-
with the
it's not what
bass.
it used
That
to
was
be.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's one of those spontaneous things that you just ride the waves,
That's
right?
right.
yeah, I think probably a lot of people will say, I'm going to hire that guitar player. He knows to get out of the way when he makes a mistake. Maybe not. Be better not to make a mistake. No, thanks for listening here at the Falmouth Music Workshop at Studio 310. We've had a great time. Thanks to Dawna Hammers, Laird
Pat.
Bowles, and all the staff here.
Pat
and-
Ryan on the guitar there.
Yes.
and the wonderful staff here at the wonderful new studio. We hope to see you again. Tell your friends that we're doing some musical concerts and musical events that's going to be all about more than just performing. So we hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks again. We'll do a little Joni Mitchell. Well, it's not a Joni Mitchell tune. It's a Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross tune that Joni Mitchell helped to make more widely known. Dawna does a mean Joni Mitchell. You want one?
Two. 1, 2. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head the way he described it. He said it'd be better dead than live. I didn't listen to his jive. I knew all along that he was all wrong, and I knew that he thought I was crazy, but I'm not. Oh no. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head. He said I need treatment because I was too easily led. He said I was the type that was most inclined when out of his sight to be out of my mind. And he thought I was nuts. No more ifs or ands or buts. Now they say as a child I appeared a little bit wild with all my crazy ideas. But I knew what was happening. I knew I was a genius. What's so strange when you know that you're a wizard at 3? I knew that this was meant to be. Well, I heard little children were supposed to sleep tight. That's why I got into the vodka one night. My parents got cracked, didn't know what to do. But I saw some crazy scenes before I came to. Now, do you think I was crazy? I might have been only 3, but I was swinging. They all looked at angry young men. They all looked at us and I know Einstein. So why should I feel sorry just because I couldn't understand the idiomatic logic that went on in my head? I had a brain, it was insane. Oh, they used to love me because I refused to ride those double-decker buses, or because there was a driver on the top. What, driver on the top? It's crazy. Take it back. The analyst told me that I was right out of my head, but I said to doctor, I think that it's you instead, 'cause I have got something unique and new, and I'd like to prove the last laugh on you, 'cause instead of one head,